useful opportunity, a great opportunity to share my views on this topic, professional ethics for teachers. And I'm so happy that this topic is given to me for the first time uh, because this topic has not been handled by many. As I went through the research yesterday, many people have not done a lot of research in this particular aspect. No idea why, but let's see what we can do the best today and what would be the takeaways for the day. Teaching basically is a trusted profession in which society holds teachers to the highest standard as role models. Professional ethics is the topic today, and it covers basically an employee's behavior and attitude towards their job, career, and the workplace. I'm not defining, but let's look into what professional ethics can give for us. The behavior of a person in the work environment is basically known as professional ethics. This is the definition. So it is certain that rules about how a person should act in the workplace. Teachers are too much expected to follow certain professional ethics in the institution. And teachers are the substitute for parents. We all know that. They are the first, and we are the first guides of students outside the home. And students spend many years of their life with teachers and tend to look upon us. So the word professionalism originally applied to vows of a religious order. By no later than, looking back into the history, in the year 1675, this particular term had seen a secular application and was applied to the three learned professions, divinity, law, and medicine. An inquiry into the work ethic concept reveals two directions of thought. One of a theoretical entity, another one of an empirical nature. The theoretical approach to the work ethics is more definitive and has been widely studied across social science from the psychology to the economics. Today, let's see something on values also, because the professional ethics is very closely related to the values. The best career choices are the ones that match our values. So what are the values that we will have as a personality within our own self? And the values are the beliefs about what is more desirable for us. So this is the basic understanding. An inquiry into the professional ethics reveals two directions of thought, as already told, theoretical entity and empirical nature. So I just want to ask at this particular junction certain specific questions. Specific concerns of this particular today's discussion are: what is meant by professional ethics? What are its origins? Is work ethic a measurable construct? And if at all, if it is measurable, what is to be measured? And it is not likely an unusual concept, but likely to be defined by culture. And the measurement may not be universal, but we want to make it universal. Let's see how it goes. So do teachers and administrators have a code of ethics? Yes, the preamble says this is the code of ethics. Integrity, maintain honesty and clear communication in the workplace. That the teachers must have a teamwork, working together to get the job done. Teachers must focus on objectivity. So don't make your career decisions based on whom you like the best. Understand what you like the best. And then the confidentiality, maintaining the clients, that is here in the students' confidence at all times. And finally, focusing on the growth. Always pursue the professional growth. So this is basically the code of ethics which is given for teachers. But I'm showing you a shocking incident, or probably something which is related to ethics. This was in the year 2022, how the teacher allegedly helped students. Okay, this was in the law firm and a business law school, where the teacher had given an MCQ, multiple choice question, to the students. And she very clearly, he or she has mentioned that she posted the message saying students who had not left answers unmarked, it was very difficult for her to help them to pass the paper. A very sad tale, but still holds good because it is a fact. To what extent unethical practices are being done in today's world is a very, very, I should say, it is not only sad tale, but it's very pinching for us to understand and also to go through it. Okay, so let's see what could be the takeaways. In today's takeaways, I will be giving you 10 principles or probably 10 ways that we can handle very efficiently this code of ethics in a very simple way. Okay, so identifying and measuring the ethical standards and personal integrity of others, it's very difficult because management has to look upon us as philosophers, as guides, as teachers, as faculty of different disciplines. And philosophers will definitely disagree about what constitutes ethical standards because what is right to me might be wrong to you, and what is right to you might be wrong to me. So what is the ethics? And there is, no more than one framework which is approach to the concept of ethics. Consistent with the applicable law, the Code of Professional Responsibility for Teachers shall serve as a basis for decisions on issuing pertaining, one is to the license, another one is to the employment. How many of us do have passed license here means basic test like eligibility test for lecturership, maybe PGC, sorry, NET or SLET. For the purposes of this particular section, I would like to define the word teacher, which means a teacher is a person who's applying for, who holds or who is employed under a teaching certificate or other equivalent certificate issued by the State Board of Education. So as per the Article 2, as a trustee of the cultural and educational heritage of the nation, the teacher's duty is to bound to the learners such heritage and must exert the best effort possible to promote obedience to the laws of the state. Are we doing it? That is the question mark. And we are supposed to demonstrate full commitment and the devotion to duty. And we also must exercise this right of suffrage and all other constitutional rights. I also have, sadly, another point to tell that in recent years, this June 21, on the 77 teachers were sacked and an FIR has been registered against them for providing fake certificates. So all said and done, what is ethics and how it has to be implemented or how it needs to be understood? The Article 2 also tells us to refrain from using our position or official authority to influence or coerce the political actions or behaviors of other persons. It also tells us to enjoy the academic freedom and also be responsible in taking the privilege of expounding the product of our researchers and the investigations in the interest of nations. How many of us do take societal research or the view which can best give something towards the society as our thesis? We have taken companies' projects, companies' thesis. Some of the topics what we take, does it add any value to the society? Are we picking up topics like that? So that's a great responsibility when it comes to the teachers. Because mathematics is an exact science, engineering, one of the precision. So however, the social science, if you see, and the human behavior which does not fit into the formulas and the finites, but rather such intangibles as needs, attitudes, beliefs, and values that are not easily observed are set into as experiments today. So therefore, the measuring of such concepts that are directly related to the work ethics becomes more inexact science. So let's look into, what could be the responsibilities of the teachers today. Responsibility, first of all, to the students. We are supposed to recognize, respect, and uphold the dignity and the worth of students as individual human beings. Are we really doing that? Are we having any discrimination on that? So we are supposed to engage the students in the pursuit of the truth, knowledge, and wisdom. Are we really doing that? This is not about our knowledge, but going beyond, upskilling our skills and attitude and the knowledge, and provide access to all points without deliberate distortion of the subject matter. And also, we are supposed to nurture the students, giving them a lifelong respect and compassion for themselves and other human beings, regardless of race, ethnic origin, gender, social class, disability, religion, or sexual orientation. As LGBTQ has evolved, so the rights have been given, so we need to respect that. So, how many of us do that? Foster in students the full understanding, application, and preservation of the democratic principles and processes. We guiding the students to acquire the requisite skills and understanding for the participatory citizenship and realize your obligation to be worthy and contributing to the members of the society. Are we all doing this towards the students? Because towards the students, we have lots and lots, helping the students in formulation of the value systems. Are we really doing it? Because we don't have time. Honestly speaking, let us accept, because we don't have time to complete our own academic obligations. And of course, we also have the non-academic obligations like entering the attendance into the software, the portals, and we also have a lot of other extracurricular, co-curricular activities where we are supposed to do the mentoring process for the students and conduct the coaching class for the students who are below the average level. Yes. So we have a lot of obligations. So where is the question that, where we can assist the students to formulate the value systems, or promote the right and freedom of students to learn, explore the ideas? Are we taking it to the students? Come on, go out for creativity, search, find out the different ways of doing things, develop your learning skills. Are we doing that? We don't have time. So honestly speaking, how we are supposed to do it? Let's understand the responsibility to the profession. So, as teachers, the professional teacher, in full recognition of his or her obligation to the profession of teaching, shall conduct himself or herself as a professional, realizing that his or her action reflects directly upon the status. So, as a teacher, we consider ourselves and this profession as a noble profession. Correct? So, the substance of the profession must be realized. Uphold the professional teacher's right to teach effectively. Just teaching what is there in the book is different, but teaching effectively is something different. Uphold the principle of academic freedom. Are we giving the students the choice? Today's NEP 2020 has given the freedom to choose what are the different subjects that the students would like to learn. Yes, they have the freedom, but are we encouraging it? Okay, so that is the question. Assuming the responsibility for his or her professional development apart from academics. Are we encouraging the participation of the other teachers in the process of educational decision making? Are we putting our own ideas, or are we, including the inclusive management is happening? Yes or no? Promoting the employment of only qualified and fully licensed teachers. It is only, with respect to this. Are we encouraging the promising, qualified, and competent individuals to enter into this profession? Are we doing that, or anything else is happening? So we all know that. So I think that should be an open secret. And let's look into some more responsibilities of the teachers. Responsibility to the community. So for the community, the teachers shall be cognizant of the influence of the teachers upon the community at large, and therefore shall not knowingly misrepresent the facts or make false statements. We are given the freedom to conduct FDPs, MDPs, management development programs. We are involved into a lot of other conduction of programs like symposium. We are supposed to conduct international seminars, webinars, conferences. So a lot of programs we are conducting. Also, we are responsible for the outreach programs as per NAC, as per NBA standards. So when we are submitting the documents, and even for doing the research when we are submitting the documents? Are we giving the exact facts or are we making the false statements? Let's probe into that. And as teachers, we are supposed to encourage the community to exercise its responsibility to be involved in the formulation of the educational policy. Am I including various other individuals in the board of studies? Okay, so in the board of studies constituted, we have the principal sir or principal ma'am, and then we have the entire HODs, head of the departments, and then the other faculty, and the faculty of that particular discipline. Along with them, we also have one representative as a student representative. And do we have any person from industry? Do we have any person from NGOs? Do we have any person from the society at large? So all these are the questions to be thought through. And our duty is to exploit the educational institutions not for personal gain, but for the gain to the community at large. So this also has to be kept in mind. So the professional code for ethics for teachers, let me just summarize. So the main purpose of education is to create the skills, grasp knowledge, and spread awareness about our glorious national heritage. And we also are supposed to ensure that values enshrined in our constitution lays stress on attaining the basic scientific look and commitment to the ideals of patriotism, democracy, secularism, socialism, and peace. Are we into that? Are we really looking upon all these factors? Education should strive for academic excellence and progress of the arts and science in conformity with the national needs and priorities. For the purpose of this code, the teacher covers all the school teachers of the full-time and part-time basis. The following are some of the professional ethics for teachers. We say that loyalty towards duty should be there, punctuality should be there, dutifulness should be there. But what am I showing? I am showing something where how teachers graded ChatGPT's answer. Today, ChatGPT, the great artificial intelligence, has occupied everybody's mind, and the work what we are trying to do, whether it is a research, whether it is writing an essay. So let me just read it out for you. So the question is, can you write a 250-word summary of poem Aunt Jennifer's Tigers by Andrew Rich? This is the question. Also, they are asking to talk about the central theme of the poem. Okay, so the student has written Aunt Jennifer's Tigers is a poem by Adrian Rich that describes the life of Aunt Jennifer, an artist who creates a beautiful tapestry of powerful tigers. However, her life is one of the oppression and fear, and she is dominated by her husband, a man who represents the patriarchal society that confines her. The central theme of the poem is the struggle of women to find freedom, and so the answer goes like that. Two teachers have commented on this, telling that answer was structured but lacked content. Content is very important. What is the use of having a structured answer? Okay, so content and the essence of the poem is missing. So there was a repetition too. I think content matters more than language. Very true. Very true. So to frame the content, we must need our own knowledge. The human brain is the most powerful tool on earth, right? So language and content equally matters while awarding marks. It was a well-structured answer with good conclusion, but it was a bit repetitive. So GPT gives us, this kind of the feedback. So do we really need to use that? Do we really have to use, or can we, avoid using in our day-to-day life? Is it possible? All these are question marks for today's, scenario. And let's look into the professional ethical principles. Let us, decide on our own selves. Let us, come to that particular conclusion. Whether it is really required, it's not required. The following are the basic rules for ethical behavior. So we should not use our authority to influence a personal life or for monetary gain. Yes, we are not going to use it. Not using the authority with malicious intent. Yes, we are not supposed to use having a grudge on others. So there is, in the performance appraisal, we have something called as a halo error. It's the first impression is the best impression. And then we have something called as a leniency error. And then we have the central tendency error. All these errors, not only in the performance appraisal time, it comes when we think of a particular faculty, but the time when you encounter certain issues with the faculty, then that also comes. So do we, at that particular point of time, do we follow the ethical principles? That again is a question mark. And we are not supposed to influence and advocate unethical conduct, in others. And acting in good faith, yes, we must do. Here, at this particular junction, I just wanted to give you an example. Okay, this is from another industry. Uh, okay, so airplane staff members can use this code of ethics to resolve conflicts effectively and maintain a positive work environment. The example here is from the airline industry. So they tell that how their code of ethics will be determined. So maintaining a professional image at Value Airlines means you're considerate to the needs of others and can stay neutral during high energy situations. Every person on an airplane is important as their decisions can affect the safety and the success of everyone on board. So if this is the value proposition which is given by the airline industry, now recent years we are hearing a lot of I think complaints telling that crew members are not very cordial enough, they are very aggressive, they are not heeding to the requirements of the clients. Yes. So where is the question of this ethics? Not only in the airline industry, as I already told you, the professional ethics for teachers, it should be there. What we are expecting, what everybody are expecting from us. All these, 17, which I have given here, listed here, is being expected. We should be very honest. We should have good behavior towards the students. The students will not have the good behavior with us. They will respond in a very rude way. If you call and if they don't respond, second time you call, the answer would be, I heard you. Haven't you come across this? I understood. I was supposed to, come back to you. And whether do they really wish, hi, ma'am. Good morning, ma'am is gone. Hi, ma'am. So, and these days it is, hi, bro. So depends. So the use of rights, to what extent, we are supposed to use our rights, our motivational attitude. So it is ethics and moral behavior a very measurable one, precisely. Yes, it can be measurable. I'll tell you in the coming slides how the ethics can be measured and how we can set a right path, because we are supposed to be looked as a role model for the other professions also. So the teachers should uphold the reputation and standing of the profession. Take all the reasonable steps in relation to the care of the pupils and the students under their supervision so as to ensure their safety and welfare. We also must work within the framework of relevant legislation and regulations. But here, what do we see? We are supposed to follow the legislation and regulations. But here again, I'm showing you a newspaper screenshot of in the a particular state where the retired teachers aged 72 and 65 held for gang raping a minor. This is one of the, again, very unpleasant situation and unpleasant issue. But are we, standing up? Because we are supposed to be the role models for all the other professions. That is what it has been expected us to be as teachers. Okay, I want to show you a very important scale. This is one of the scale which, the Protestant work ethic. This is the scale, work or professional ethics scale, which is coined by the socialist Max Weber in the year 1905. Before moving on to that, let us also understand What are the ethical issues which is involving our own colleagues? How, as teachers, we are responsible for our colleagues' behavior. So ethical behavior also applies to colleagues and teachers who do not intentionally make false statements about the colleagues. How many of us do involve in gossipings, spread bad rumors about other colleagues, and spread bad things, or try to do certain things or take the credit for others' work? How many of us, do that? A teacher must also take care not to reveal any confidential information about colleagues, nor disparage or interfere with the colleague's choice in the educational methods. So when you don't want to do a particular job, you just tell Mr. A is there, who can do it very well, right? How many of us point the fingers to others? So there are ethics which is, involving our own colleagues. So let us understand that. And also let us understand the responsibilities to parents, students, parents. A teacher must strive to maintain an open, accepting classroom environment where the students from all the cultural backgrounds, are coming here. So they should feel comfortable. We should make them feel comfortable. So teachers also have the responsibility to communicate honestly and openly with the parents of students, regardless of the circumstances. Not only taking the complaints up. How many of the teachers do call up the parents telling, appreciating your student as your ward has done so wonderful job, not only in the scoring, but, in the extracurricular activity. She has participated the other day in the sports and wonderful performance. How many of us do have the time to call up the parents and appreciate the students? Right? It's whenever any complaint is there, we do call. Your student is not coming to the college, and for absenteeism we call, or for any other issues we call. But how many of us do take the responsibility to call when something good has happened? Let's think through that. So here I would like to introduce, or at least tell one more news clipping where today India stands first in plagiarism. This is a very serious issue. We can refer to many of the recent articles which has been published in the research. Okay, let's understand from when it started. When compared to other nations, India experienced one of the longest institutional closures during the pandemic. Yeah, we are very fortunate that, we are still alive. Nothing much greater damage has happened compared to other countries. We are very happy about it. But due to their constant access to the internet and home learning environment, how were our children? Everybody were affected, right? Yes. Students may have developed the bad habit of violently, obtaining the online content without crediting the author. Yes, we have done that. Not only students, even teachers, we have done that. If anybody is found to have stolen content from a higher education or research institutions without permission or acknowledgement, there may be the serious consequences. All said and done, how much of cases can be filed? How many cases can be resolved? Already we have so many cases, which is lying there, which is unresolved. So let's not get into, all these things. That's what I would say. And to measure this professional ethics, as I already told, the professional work ethic is one of the instrument or a scale which helps us to identify how much of the professional ethics I do have, and how much can be created further. Do I need to change? Because Max Weber, in the year 1905, when he created, he hypothesized that northern European countries were more economically productive than the southern European ones, because their Protestantism promoted the values of labor and discipline, in contrast with Catholicism, which valued ceremony and confession. So it's more into the religious, concept actually, where the professional ethics is explained in this way. So the professional work ethics was originally conceived as a property of culture, but in the 1960s, if you see, some psychologists tried to study it on as an individual level, at an individual level. So the Protestant work ethics scale was published in the year 1971 by Herbert Merrells and James Garrett, for use in this line of research. Okay, so as I already told you how to measure, one is we measure the perceived features of the work environment, that is the place, perceived ethical culture at the workplace, and the traits and values of the employees, what I hold, the moral identity, my trust, and the reputation of the firm in the eyes of the outsiders. I will post this, link in the chat box. Kindly take it down immediately after the session is over and find out your professional ethics scale, because there are 19 statements, 19 items, of opinion that you must rate on a 5-point rating scale from highly disagree to highly agree. It should not take, hardly 4 to 6 minutes to complete. And this test is provided for only for educational use. Please do not use it for some other purpose. It should not be used as a psychological advice. No, it is not that. It just shows your personality towards how much of work ethics or the professional ethics that you have, and where we need to, think through. That's all. Nothing is right, nothing is wrong. And if you look into the items which are given here, it is a 7-point Likert scale from strongly agree to strongly agree, disagree to agree. Most people spend too much time in unprofitable amusements. Do you agree to the statement or do you disagree? I will tell, yes, people, their economic status has improvised a lot, because I'm coming from Bangalore and we see here, I can't be sitting at home. There are people, most of them going for early morning, shows. I should say the faculty also I have seen on a Saturday morning, they go for the first show, 9:30 show. So is it, they go for unprofitable, for me it is unprofitable amusement. But for them, it could be 5 days in a week I'm working, come on here, I just need a break. So it could be something related to that, correct? So whether you agree, you don't agree. Then the next second item is our society would have fewer problems if people has less leisure time. Do you agree to this? Do you don't disagree? Money acquired easily through gambling or speculation is usually spent unwisely. Many people don't spend unwisely. Many people do the investment part today, where mutual fund is occupied, shares are there, a lot of other ways. But do you really think that money acquired easily, people, spend it on gambling, and it is all waste. It is unwise. So how do you rate about it? There are few satisfactions equal to the realization that one has done in her best job. So do you agree to this item? Do you don't agree? You can take it down if things are going very well from strongly agree to strongly disagree. 1 is strongly disagree and 7 is strongly agree. The most difficult college courses usually turn out to be the most rewarding. There are many, depends on, see, what is difficult for me may not be difficult for you. Correct. So how do we, look into that? And most people who do not succeed in the life are just plain lazy. Do you think so? There are very unlucky ones also, right? People depend on luck. People depend on, though I'm working so hard, people are not recognizing my efforts. People just use me, I still remember one of the friend who commented, but of course she quit the job. She used to say, I work like a donkey. Why do you have to compare yourself with an animal? So what is that, because the self-esteem comes down, because at times this is a monotonous job. Many people don't understand. Teaching profession, most of the time we have a very monotonous job. Sometimes the same subject is given to us. Sometimes it's the same kind of the workload. Uh, so how do you feel about it? The self-made man is likely to be more ethical than the man born to wealth. Do you really, think like this? Okay. I am not getting too much into this, because this is all the 19 statements, items which is given here. One thing which I would like to focus on, one of the last item, for example, if one works very hard enough, he is likely to make a good life for himself. Is it true? Is it so? I feel very uneasy when there is a little work for me to do. How many of us feel that? How many of us sit back and relax? oh, I don't have much job to do. And how many of us focus on the real research? Okay, so when I talk about professional ethics, I have seen today a very sad, again, unpleasant issue or a thing which has come up. There are a lot of organizations which is coming up with, we will publish your thesis. We will, chapter one is given to one of the company, chapter two is given to another company, chapter three is given to somebody else. Correct? So is it ethical, unethical? We want to do PhD? Let's do a good job from today onwards. So my humble request, I should say, is that learning should happen because NEP tells us, lifelong learning should be there. So let us learn. And it is not that hard at all. I don't know why people are finding it so difficult. It is not that hard at all. It's very simple because with the help of the technology, let us spend some time together with the system and interact with the system and try to identify how best we can do. Yes, we can all because God has given that kind of, knowledge to everybody. And let's use our own brains to identify how best we can, excel in our, research works. They say first author position, first author position 8,000, second author position 7,000, third. Why do you want? Do you want a promotion like this? Promotion, how much do you get? 500, 1,000 rupees, 2,000 rupees, and spending, 40, 50,000 for a research article for Scopus, for UGC listed journal. It's a very debatable one. I'm not getting into the debatable one. My humble submission at this juncture in this wonderful session, because professional ethics is a wonderful topic, very interesting topic to deal with. It's a debatable topic. So what is right to me may be wrong to you. Okay. So a distaste for hard work usually reflects on a weakness of character. No, I don't think so. Okay, so I just wanted to give for today's takeaway the 10 important maybe objectives or goals or principles, whatever I felt very interesting for me because this I have put into practice right from the day one. This is my 23rd year of teaching experience. Thought I would like to share with my fellow colleagues. So try to make the instructions or the lessons interesting, very interesting. How best? With videos, if you have smart boards, if you don't have max to max, if you don't have anything at all, storytelling is there. Madam, what are you talking? For max, can we tell a story? Yes, you can. Tell a story. Tell a story for start the class with the stories. Start the class with a small phrase or anything that is very interesting, and well structured presentations, very catchy graphics or videos during the, maybe, it could be the mentoring process. It could be, one to one, you're interacting with the students, so for all these things, let's, from today onwards, let's start putting into practice. So as the saying goes, if ethics are poor at the top, that behavior is copied down through the organization. So this is for the management. If the management is not following the ethics on the top, where he says, as you can see the cartoon, no worries, I'll help you out. I'm confused with the workflow. So how will he help? We have to be very nice. So if you want to instill good work ethics among your team, you must lead them from the front. So, madam, I'm just only a lecturer. No, that's okay. But still you can lead your students' team, to the front. Unless and until you or the people or the, say the HOD level don't set the benchmark for your team, you cannot expect to see great results. It is very crucial to have organizational code of conduct and ethics, but it is more important to ensure everyone abides. Because when I talk about this at this point of juncture, I also do remember a faculty who was arguing with me. How come the dress code is so important for teaching? Okay, we have a code of conduct, where we also have it for the dress code. So when it comes to teachers, everybody has a mindset. Saris is a uniform, but other than saris, if you really want to look, a little bit decent. So the youngsters today don't bother about that. They say, teaching is more important. What I'm sharing in the class is more important. See, code of conduct is given even for dress. Let's understand that. So the essence of professionalism is focusing upon its work and its demand. While we are doing it, it is the exclusion of all else. This is another, saying. So the essence of professionalism, setting a good example. Okay. So the second, takeaway is proper mentoring. And the third takeaway is setting a good example. And the fourth one is creating a right work environment. So here, the essence of professionalism, when I'm saying, this is the focus upon which the work has its demands. Are you reliable? Are you ethical? Are you trustworthy? Are you a good communicator? With all these things, I have to understand while I'm doing it, am I executing the same? So, apart from creating a good work environment, the fifth takeaway for the day is professionalism. And as you can, stimulate the professionalism by striving for excellence, being very respectful, honest, and transparent, acting with integrity. The sixth takeaway is discipline. Discipline is the bridge between the goals and accomplishment. Let me say how many of you are punctual to your organizations. Sorry to take this issue, but there are many a times that we are not punctual, or we are punctual only because the organization says so, or we have a biometric, rushing upon and in the early hours, and then start cribbing our day, complaining about the day, too much of traffic and I could not come. Correct? So why don't we have a buffer time, and then because I'm from Bangalore, I know the traffic, it is how much is here. Still the metro work is going on. It is just exactly 15 minutes to my office, but I start 1 hour 15 minutes early because the traffic I cannot predict. For 45 minutes it takes for me to go the site. Sometimes even, we, I should not say in this platform, we miss the traffic signals in order to reach, the office on time. Yes, so it is one of the core elements. What? Discipline. It's one of the core elements of the professional ethics. And the management must be very particular about this aspect. When discipline becomes a part of the company's, today's institution's culture, it will resonate with all the other workforce, down the line. By instilling a culture of self-discipline, employers can positively overview their actions and reactions. So this is the sixth main takeaway that I can give you for the day. The seventh one is understand your students' needs. How many of us focus on we come, we teach, we go? But how many of us really understand what is really required? Whether the students are able to see the board properly, are they talking among themselves? Madam, today's generation, you can't say, you can't be very strict. No, there is no need for being very strict. But at least, you can tell, you can call them out, you can involve them in a discussion. It's a positive discussion. So other day you gave a very nice presentation. So what about today? I think you're getting distracted. So why don't we, look upon this? So can you give me your opinion on this? So pulling them, towards the class. So if we want to create a highly motivated workplace, you must acknowledge the needs of your employees. Also, this is for the management, but otherwise, teachers generally show a high level of engagement and commitment when the students' needs are met. They also feel extra motivated and become more inclined towards the goals and the vision of the institution. How many of us at this juncture, again, I would like to pose a question, are aware of our vision and mission of the institution where we are working for? Every week, at least, I try to recollect, I try to remember what is the vision and mission of the institution, what is the vision and mission of the department. Okay, that will help me to understand. Okay, it's a beautiful, wonderful thing to get up in the morning, go for work, pack your lunch. So it's such a nice thing to share with you that I keep my eyes, try to open to catch up the people in my institution and do something which is right and praise them for it. Together we actually work towards that kind of the culture that we have created, because I work for an engineering and autonomous institution, a very, very tough, I think I should say. So the eighth takeaway is a culture of constant feedback. So constantly, the HODs must provide feedback to the teachers, uh, not commenting on them, Madam, you have worked for so many years in so many places. This much you don't know. No, please don't comment like that. You just tell them, talk to the point. Tell them, this is what it is. We wanted you to do this. I wanted you to do this. Tell them in a simple way, give them a constructive feedback so that they get along with the others in a very professional way. And you stand as an example as a professional, no HODs. This is for the HODs, head of the departments, and for the management. You stand as a great example as a leader because today we are talking about transformational leader, transactional leader, servant leadership. So this is also possible, in the educational institution. So let's keep our eyes open. Okay. So the next ninth takeaway is fueling the spirits. As mentioned in the previous points, management plays a vital role in fostering a good work ethic among the employees. They also play a major role in the equation for rewarding the people and showcasing the good work ethics. Let's keep the eyes open. Let's try to find out. The 10th one is the eliminating the obstacles. 10th takeaway. Finally, this is the last takeaway. To instill strong work ethics among your faculty members, the management must eliminate the hurdles in their way. First one is the lack of recognition. So please remove that because they have to, come across, the faculty members have to come across the lack of recognition. They have to cross the inadequate benefits because management should also need to think, are you really rewarding the faculty? Okay, whether the salary is up to the mark. With respect to Indian perspective, again, it is a very sad tale. In various other countries, teachers are recognized, and I should say they are the utmost people who are recognized compared to how in Indian scenarios, how we are, looking upon or looking down upon the teachers. The profession which is really rewarded and best looked upon is the teachers in most of the other countries. It's again a very unpleasant thing. So let's work towards, let's join together and recognize each other at least, to start with, because the bottom line is something very different. Okay, so if your faculty members are disengaged and demotivated at the workplace, the chances are high that they would not show a very strong professional ethics at work. So management is equally responsible for this. So negativity in the workplace, often, we call it as an office politics, strict hierarchy, the lack of recognition, and inadequate benefits can lower the workplace morale. Remember, the value of ethics will only bear the fruits when they come to the employees intrinsically. Okay? But if it comes as extrinsically also, extrinsic rewards, if it is given to the faculty, then faculty will be really happy to work their best, and to give their best. So it could be anything from internal, miscommunication among the team members to undefined company's culture, that is the institution's culture, or any of the personal issues which would crop up. But we need to look into all these things. Bottom line, why we are having this today's session? Because we want to manifest success. All the faculty, including me, I want to manifest success. Yes. So manifesting success and contentment, the job satisfaction, it is a continuous process. So thus one needs to have the commitment and the right professional ethics in order to achieve the same. So you cannot paint the office walls. I've seen in most of the institutions, office walls will be, fully of professional ethics, quote by Abraham Lincoln, quote by, APJ Abdul Kalam, Lord Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. So it is all, fully filled with Swami Vivekananda's quotes, whatnot. But, we also expect everyone to follow them, which is very important and equally important. So to conclude, I just want to mention few things. Professional ethics is the study of right and wrong, the duties and obligations. Ethics involves critical reflection on morality, including the ability to make choices between values and the examination of the moral dimensions of relationships. Ethics, the study of right and wrong, the duty and obligation. So I'm repeating it so that it gets deeper into our sense and the understanding that we have, and the moral commitments of the profession that we are having today involves the moral reflection that extends and enhances the personal morality, and we as practitioners, we as faculty, and we as teachers bring to the work and concern actions of right or wrong in the workplace. And this helps these individuals to resolve the moral dilemmas they encounter in their work or we encounter in our work. So, professional ethics, these are the moral commitments of a profession that involve moral reflection and which also extends and enhances the personal morality of the practitioners. So, this is very important in the workplace. And at this juncture, I would like to thank IoT Academy for providing me an opportunity to give my best and share my views regarding the professional ethics of teachers or for teachers in this session. Thank you so much.